Hi! Welcome to another episode of this online series of PNU Talks. Dahil kay Inang Pamantasan, ang pagkatuto ay walang hanggan. I am Sheila Marie P. Dela Peña, your learning from home buddy in this today's session. And today I'm going to share with you a very, very special topic, something that is close to my heart, gratitude. So, what do we know about gratitude? What are the benefits of having a grateful disposition or character? How can we cultivate having a grateful personality? And lastly, how can we still be grateful despite all the adversities that we experience in life? These and more will be answered in our today's session. So please stay tuned, stick around, and I hope you'll be able to learn new things, some things that would really help you as we trudge in this new normal. In its etymology, gratitude actually came from two Latin words, gratia, meaning favor, and gratus, which means pleasing. All of the derivatives of these two Latin words were actually related to kindness, generousness, receiving gifts, and giving of gifts, or getting something in exchange of nothing. But if we are going to look into the dictionary to find out its lexical meaning, say for example, in the Oxford Online Dictionary, it says that gratitude is the quality of being thankful or being ready to show appreciation and to return the kindness that was showed to you. For Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary, they also mentioned that gratitude is the quality of being grateful. But in Macmillan Online Dictionary, they furthered that gratitude is a feeling of being grateful to someone because they have given you something or they were able to do something for you. But more than that, philosophers actually offered ways to conceptualize gratitude. Like for Immanuel Kant, he said that gratitude is more of honoring a person because he did some kindness to another person. But for Brown, he described it as a delightful emotion of love towards someone who has done something good. And Solomon furthered that it's not just towards other person, like yeah, it could be other directed, but it's not only limited to a person. Rather, it could also involve non-human agents, like for example, pets. Some feel gratefulness because they have pets that they love them. Another is the cosmos, like the forces around them that help them be where they want to be. And also the Almighty God, which provided them with all the blessings or all of the protection, the guidance. But in 2002, the Gratitude Research Project was launched. It was actually spearheaded by Maclo, Sang, and Emmons. And according to them, gratitude, it's not just an emotion. Rather, it could also be a disposition or a character trait. Simply put, there are individuals who could easily recognize things or events that they should be thankful for, while others are simply not just like them. Some might be too sensitive to recognize that they are a recipient of someone else's kindness or blessings from above, but some are not like that. So basically, they defined gratitude as a generalized tendency, a disposition to recognize and respond with grateful emotion to someone else's kindness or to the role of other people's benevolence or positive experiences and outcomes that they were able to receive from that. And from that definition, we could see that gratitude involves more than just emotion. It has cognitive, yeah, of course, the affect or the emotion, plus the behavioral outcome. Like when we recognize, we acknowledge that we received something good or that we experienced something pleasant. And we are also aware that without the people being there or the factors being present during the time that you needed them to be there, the outcome won't be the same. Like you cannot provide that benefit or that experience for yourself alone. And that realization could actually lead to a grateful emotion, the feeling of thankfulness, of appreciation, of being so blessed, being so loved that, hey, you felt like I don't deserve this, but I received this. And that overflowing emotion would actually call for expression, which is the behavioral component of gratitude. Like you were intrinsically motivated to do something for them or because of them. And expressing gratitude comes in different ways. It could be in the form of, yeah, verbally expressing that you are thankful for that gift or for that experience. It could also be more active, like you are going to give something in return to that person, or if you feel or if you know that that person won't need your help because probably he or she is so much blessed, then you are going to just pay it forward or spread kindness to others who would need it the most. So at this point, maybe you would say, wait. You already said so many things about gratitude, like its definition, its etymology, or its thinking and feeling and doing component. But what's in it for me? Like, why should I be interested in doing gratitude exercises? What will I have out of that? This is an interesting question. And please allow me to give you a walkthrough of the findings that researchers were able to gather about gratitude. In 2010, Wood, for example, he found out that positive emotions like happiness and appreciation, both of them are likely to occur when one or more component of gratitude are active. Other researchers found out that gratitude is positively correlated to other positive emotions such as awe, joy, enthusiasm, life satisfaction, vitality, or even optimism. It was also found out that gratitude is negatively correlated to depression and stress, which means that a grateful person is likely to not experience depression or stress or just experience it in a minimum level. But an ungrateful person would tend to experience anxiety, depression, envy, or loneliness. They are more prone to that. But more than the mental health aspect or the emotional and psychological aspect where gratitude could have an impact or influence, it was also found out that our physiological health could be influenced or affected by practicing gratitude. Right. In 1995, McCravey and his team, they were able to find out that reliable changes in cardiovascular and immune functioning were brought about by positive emotions that are closely related to gratitude. What they did is they instructed their subjects to consciously experience appreciation for some minutes, and they saw that it increased the parasympathetic activities of their subjects. Like it literally had changes in their pulse rate, in their respiration rate, and in their heart rate variability. And in 2001, Danner and his team was able to conclude that positive emotions, including gratitude, could become predictors of longevity. That's right. This is a very interesting research project. What they did is that they investigated on the diaries or autobiographical notes of nuns, 180 nuns in the Order of Notre Dame. And they saw that those who expressed positive emotions, including gratitude on their life stories, tended to have a 7-year difference of longevity compared to those to the nuns who just expressed positive emotions less. And there's another experimental study wherein Emmons mentioned that engaging in gratitude exercises could actually improve the sleep quality, like reducing the sleep disturbance that one is experiencing. And we know how important sleep is, because when one is able to rest well, get a good night's sleep, that's the time that the body could heal, could recuperate, could do the necessary restorations that our physical and of course our brain needs. And uh, having that could actually increase our survival rate and our long-term health. Aside from the psychological and mental health, and of course the physiological, which we just talked about earlier, gratitude can also improve our interpersonal relationships, our social relationships. In a longitudinal study of male adult development, Violent, in 1993, he theorized that a key to a mature adaptation in life is the ability to replace the bitterness and resentment towards acceptance and appreciation, or being grateful to the experience that perpetrated harm to that person. Gratitude is indeed a part and parcel of a creative process whereby a self destructive emotion is being replaced or being transformed into ones that permit healing and restoration. When a person has a grateful characteristic, he becomes willing to provide emotional, tangible support to others. And that also strengthens the bond that he has towards others and vice versa. Also, do you know that a grateful person is likely to become a religious or spiritual person as well? Well, Peterson and Seligman found that out. By the way, Seligman is the father of positive psychology. And so they were able to see that grateful individuals are more likely to acknowledge a belief in the interconnectedness of life, and they are likely to show commitment and responsibility to other people. Also, it was observed that grateful individuals would place less importance on the material goods. So when you give them gifts, they would appreciate the thought that you remembered them compared to the actual material gift that you gave them. It's also observed that they are less likely to judge other people or their own success in terms of the possessions that they accumulated, or how much money or appliances you have inside your house. They are also less envious of wealthy people. They are more contented, and they are more likely to share their blessings to other people compared to those who are less grateful individuals. There. So I was able to give you a walkthrough on the different benefits of practicing gratitude. And we learned that it's linked to having a healthier state of mind, of body, as well as relationships, not just to other people, but also to other life forms. And you might be wondering, okay, so now that I realize that there are lots of benefits when I practice gratitude, how can I at least embody that grateful character, or how can I be a grateful person? Well, remember that gratitude is a disposition or a trait wherein some can naturally be responsive and sensitive to the kindness of others or to the beauty that they receive from the world. But for some, they may need to do some, workout. But with constant practice, it's really possible. There are different gratitude interventions that researchers were able to develop through time. And those who engaged in one of those exercises were able to experience the benefit. One is keeping a gratitude journal. It could also be a gratitude list or a gratitude diary. If you are a person who likes to write and journal a lot, well, this exercise is for you. But if you feel like you are more comfortable in using your phone, well, that's okay because there are different gratitude apps that you can also download in Play Store or in whatever app store that you have in your phone. What you're supposed to do is just to write at least 3 or 5 things that you are grateful for each day. You can do that before you sleep or before you start your day. Keep on doing that and intentionally see how much blessing you are receiving. I'm pretty sure that you would see how valued you are because you get to have those things in your list. Another is having gratitude visits. Though I'm not just sure if this is okay for now because we are practicing physical distancing. Maybe after the pandemic we can do this. But before pandemic, the researchers were able to try this out. And what they asked was for participants to think of a kind person who really made an impact to their lives, but they weren't able to think properly. And they're supposed to write a letter of gratitude and give it to them. Okay, so they were given 1 week to do that, and when they delivered their letter, those who received thanks and those who expressed their thanks experienced happiness and also experienced positive emotions in a deeper level. It's indeed a heartwarming scene when you try to imagine how that is. Well, maybe you can do a virtual gratitude visit through Zoom or Google Meet or maybe any video conferencing app. You can try that out. Another is, of course, if you belong to a religious organization or if you identify yourself as having a religion, you can also not do a gratitude letter, but express it in the form of prayer, expressing to him all of the things that you are thankful to receive, all of the blessings that you got, all of the kindness, the goodness that, or perhaps the saving moments that he you felt like it's a divine intervention for you. You can just express it through a prayer of thanks. And that will increase or that will deepen your connection to him and also strengthen your faith. And lastly is having self-reflection or having an honest self-reflection. Like, of course, we don't want to undermine everybody or somebody else's effort. I totally agree that the things that you have right now, like your achievements or the possessions that you have, your credentials that you have right now or are proud of having, those are products or fruits of your own labor, of your own struggles, of your time and energy, or your power, or your will, or whatever. You can mention that it's from you. However, life is harsh, and we always don't get what we want. Sometimes we don't always get what we deserve, and so many people who are deserving, but still, what happened? Why didn't they get what they deserve? There are individuals who are no, they're so smart, they're so intelligent, and they received the second place because the one who got the first place had a parent who could pay for field trip or pay contributions in the school that would give them +5 in the final grade. There are people who ate healthy, who regularly exercised, but they got cancer and then or they got into an accident. And sometimes there are people who just love too much, but they got fooled or they got cheated on. And what do these situations teach us? That no matter how we try to be in control of our own life, of our own successes, of our future, external factors are still at play. So let's try to reflect. Who are we if we weren't helped by others during the time that we needed help? Who are we if we weren't able to meet that person who made an impact in our life? Will our life be this meaningful, this purposeful, or colorful? At this point, let's take the time to appreciate the people who treated us kindly and fair. Can you name some? Can we value the fact that we are still alive today, even though there are so many things that could have happened to us? Or can we appreciate the fact or the thing that of all the bosses or of all the professors that could have been your professor or your boss, you're assigned to someone who's credible and kind-hearted and so competent? So many things could have happened. There are so many what ifs. But what's so good is that you and me are still breathing. We are still alive. And what can we or what should we feel now? How many times did you say buti na lang or good thing this happened or this thing didn't happen? I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me that it calls for gratitude. So, yeah, keeping a gratitude journal, making some gratitude letters, or expressing your gratitude to someone who really deserve that, and having a self-reflection could really help you cultivate that grateful character or would help you become a more grateful person. But of course, this is not just a one-shot treatment, okay? Like if you're going to do this now forever, you'll be like that. That's impossible, okay? There's no such thing. Please. What's important is that we are going to commit. It takes commitment until it becomes a habit, until it becomes natural and part of your day-to-day thing. And I think it's easy, when you're working on your gratitude list, you are going to think about the good things or the gifts that you receive. But what about the negative things in life? Can you also add that in your gratitude list? Well, here's the thing. A grateful person does not deny, okay, or ignore the negative aspects of life. Okay? Please keep that in mind. Being grateful does not mean that you are going to turn a blind eye on the bad things that's happening around you. What's important is that you are able to remain positive and you're able to still recognize and appreciate what remains to be positive in this world. Okay? And remain hopeful. You can say it is a blessing in disguise. Take, for example, the story of the Chief Operations Officer of Facebook, Shirley Sandberg. She lost her husband, and it was really one of the darkest moments in her life. She was invited to do a commencement speech in the UC Berkeley just around a year or about a year after that tragic moment. And let's watch a short excerpt of her speech and let's see what we can learn from her.
1 year and 13 days ago, I lost my husband, Dave. His death was sudden and unexpected. I walked into a gym to find him lying on the floor. I flew home to tell my children that their father was gone. I watched his casket being lowered into the ground. I was swallowed in the deep fog of grief, what I think of as the void, an emptiness that fills your heart and your lungs, constricts your ability to think or even to breathe. I learned about the depths of sadness and the brutality of loss. But I also learned that when life sucks you under, you can kick against the bottom, find the surface, and breathe again. I learned that in the face of the void, or in the face of any challenge, you can choose joy and meaning. You will almost certain face more and deeper adversity. There's loss of opportunity, the job that doesn't work out, the illness or crime which changes everything in an instant. There's loss of dignity, the sharp sting of prejudice when it happens. There's loss of love, the broken relationships that can't be repaired. And sometimes, there's loss of life itself. What I want to talk about today is what you do next, about the things you can do to overcome adversity, no matter when it hits you or how it hits. The easy days ahead of you will be easy. It is the hard days, the days that challenge you to your very core, that will determine who you are. You will be defined not just by what you achieve, but by how you survive. One day, my friend Adam Grant, a psychologist, suggested that I think about how much worse things could be. Worse, I said to him, are you crazy? How could things be worse? He looked at me and said, Dave could have had that same cardiac arrhythmia driving your children. The minute he said it, I felt overwhelming gratitude that my children were alive, and that gratitude overtook some of the grief. A year ago, he had 11 days left, and we had no idea. And then through tears, we asked each other how we would live if we knew we had 11 days left. Can you ask yourselves to live as if you had 11 days left? I mean, live with the understanding of how precious every day would be, because that's how precious every day actually is. I stand here today, a year after the very worst day of my life. The worst day. The worst day I can imagine. And two things are true. I have a huge reservoir of sadness. It is with me always. It is right here where I can touch it. I never knew I could cry so often for so much. But for the first time, I'm grateful for each breath in and out. I'm grateful for the gift of life itself. It is the greatest irony of my life that losing my husband helped me find deeper gratitude. Gratitude for the kindness of my friends, the love of my family, and the laughter of my children. As the saying goes, we are more vulnerable than we ever thought, but we are stronger than we ever imagined. My hope for you is that you can find that gratitude, not just on the easy days like today, but on the hard days when you will need it. When tragedy or distance strike, know that you have deep within you the ability to get through anything, and I mean anything. I promise you do.
True enough, losing someone or having the worst day of your life for whatever reasons, it's a moment that invites or attracts all of the negative emotions that you could name. Hatred, anger, sadness, insecurity, grief, disappointment, or frustration. But if we could reframe it, if we could just introspect, we could see that sometimes the worst day could be an opportunity for growth. Sometimes that could be an enabler for your bigger successes in life. That would teach you not to settle for less, but to reach for more. Like when you thought it was over because everything you just built fell apart, you thought it's the end. You thought everything's a mess, and how can you begin again? But if we're going to focus on that, how can we ever move on? Like, the situation is already telling you that you're off to a new beginning. You're off to a new chapter in life that would present a stronger, happier, wiser, and kinder version of you. Will you acknowledge it? Or will you be in a state of denial? Ladies and gentlemen, being able to see the good side of a bad situation or being able to see the bad situation in a positive light gives a balance on how we should analyze and perceive things and our life in general. And that balance is really important because it will allow us to be more rational and unbiased in processing the emotions that we have or processing the events that occurred in our life. Like, we don't just see the glass as half full or half empty. We acknowledge the fact that they are both in the same. It might not be full, but hey, it's not empty. And that realization makes a difference. Speaking of new chapters, the COVID-19 pandemic brought us to the new normal that we have today. And I searched on YouTube, like, can we still be grateful even if we are having this pandemic? What I found is an interesting news clip, and I want to share it with you.
The times are strange and unsettling. Yet in this forced retreat, there is a growing space to simply say, thank you.
Thank you for being a friend.
Every day at 5 p.m., a street comes together with a different song, but it's always about gratitude. Ben Chan is a doctor. He altered the lyrics to acknowledge other frontline workers, like grocery clerks and mail carriers.
We've sung songs about gratitude to healthcare workers, but there's a lot of other people out there that we need to be thankful about.
From streets to screens, people are finding a way to show appreciation. Even in lighter spoofs, there's a deeper meaning. Roommates Devin, Chuddy, and Brighton Polka made that now viral video of friends and family to pass the time, and are so glad they did.
Just because we can't spend time together face to face, it's nice to do something where we can still connect over the phone or on video. And making videos like this, it's nice to see your friends from across the country. We're all dealing with the same thing.
And I feel like we could put a smile on people's faces with this video, and we hope we continue to do that.
Gratitude seems to be the flip side of fear. It's less about denial, more about reflection, while our world as we knew it is on pause.
Having activities to do so we're not bored all day, and having food and water.
And being thankful for your family, that's the most important.
Melissa Ozil Atwil encourages her daughters to write down what they're grateful for.
Being thankful for your food.
Yeah, food. Those are moments that they wouldn't have time necessarily during a regular scheduled day, right? They go to school, they come back, I cook dinner. It's always busy. For the first time, we're not busy. So we're really trying to maximize our time together, make it fun, play lots of family games, be silly, and kind of loving being part of a family that cares about each other and wants to be with each other.
The forced distance from others is an opportunity to go inward and give thanks in other ways.
Through the power of social media and technology, there's actually so much that we can do to mobilize others in expressing our gratitude in concrete ways.
Fashion designer Kim Smiley runs the Empathy Effect, a non-profit movement that promotes acts of kindness. She launched an online challenge asking people to hail heroes among them. There have been thousands of nominations already.
I think because people are slowing down, it's allowed them to get outside of their heads in order to see what's going on around them. And I think that has allowed light to be reflected on people who are doing these incredible works, these heroes, these health heroes, these other frontline workers.
And more are chiming in to support those workers. Like many new rituals, it's sustenance for shaken souls and stalled lives. People on this street now light candles every night. Letitia Kaliri came up with the idea. It's an exercise in grace, in finding the light in every day, however hard it may be to get through one.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's really bad what's happening, and I know it costs a lot of lives, but the only way that I can see and I can go through this in a bright light, it's seeing like we need a pause. The world is pausing. It's a time to rethink everything, our values, our way of life, and slow down and enjoy what we have most important inside of four walls, our family, our loved ones, and whatever we can do like to support each other.
A reminder that lives now suddenly smaller have room to be filled with so much more. Joanna Brumeliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
So, after watching the clip, what have you felt? Were you able to relate with them? What insight did you gain? Not letting go of the fact that many lives were lost, like many shops were closed, many lost their jobs, and yeah, it's really bad. But there are things that we can still be thankful for. At this point, I'd like to invite you to try and think about the opportunities that the pandemic enabled you and your family to experience. Who among you have developed a new hobby? Who among you have learned a new skill? Who became more health conscious? Who became more concerned for the health and safety of their family members, of their friends, and of other people? Who learned how to use new technologies so they could perform work or school requirements at home? Who had more time to spend with the families? Who had more time to watch Netflix and sleep because you won't need to commute early in the morning? Who finally got an internet connection at home, or a PC set, or a new phone? Who got a new pet? Who is this person staying with me, breathing, and alive? You. Yes, you. And there are so many things that we have to, or we can be grateful for if we are just going to open our eyes and our hearts to see the beauty that's remaining, that's positive in the world. Yes, there is still COVID. In fact, the variant is really dangerous and they're continuously evolving, but it doesn't mean that this will take forever or that we'll be forever hiding inside our own houses. There are so many things that could make us feel angry and disappointed now because of the continuous increase of COVID-19 cases, but it doesn't mean that there are no reasons to smile and be happy about. And please let us not be the person who would deprive us of the happiness that we deserve, of the positive emotions, of the kindness that we really need, especially now that we are experiencing this harsh reality. Hey, it's up to you. It's up to us. Take charge and be responsible for our own well-being. So let me end this talk or this session with a quote from Melody Beatty. She's an author of different self-help books, and she mentioned something so nice and so comprehensive about gratitude. She says, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough, and it turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, bring peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. And through this platform, I hope I was able to increase awareness about what gratitude is and about how practicing gratitude could actually allow us to live a happier and healthier life. If you have some questions or if you want to add more information or share your opinion about the episode today, please make use of our comment section below. Also, if you are interested to conduct a research about gratitude or you're just plainly interested about the references that I used when preparing for this talk, please comment your email address so we could collaborate with you. Thank you very much, PNU, for having me. Thank you, Professor Richard Monteverde, for your invitation. Thank you, Professor James Bailon, for the assistance. And of course, thank you, Dr. Lordino Vergara, for this initiative. This opportunity really paved way or gave us the chance to reconnect to our fellow PNU alumni and to other PNU students now and to the rest of the viewers. And of course, I want to thank the viewers. Thank you for staying with me from start to the finish. And of course, congratulations to PNU, to Inang Pamantasan, for your 120th anniversary. You can also join me in this advocacy of promoting gratitude by hitting the like button or sharing it in your own FB page or your timeline. Again, this is Miss Sheila Marie P. Dela Peña, and this is PNU Talks. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your day.